Really good team meeting this morning. A lot better than obviously the last four. When you get to celebrate the fact that your team found a way to win a game on the road in this conference, which is never easy, and loved the resolve and resiliency that they showed in doing so. There were a lot of great positives to share with them. I think first the game plan was to try to keep our defense off the field as much as possible against an offense that was averaging 37 points a game-ish. We accomplished that, won the time of possession. Our defense only played 43 snaps, which is unheard of. So offense really dominated the time of possession, which was really good. Rushed for over 200 yards and had 7 explosive runs. So really a lot of positives to look at on that side of the ball. Did have 1 turnover, obviously. We improved on penalties on the road, which was very nice. I think we only had 3 penalties. So a lot of positives. Special teams wise, man, a lot of big plays. Start with Alex, who I think got player of the week, which is very deserving for him to bounce back from his disappointment in the Missouri game and make 6 of 6 field goals. I think was just so proud of him. We blocked a punt, Justin Jones. We had 0 penalties on special teams, which was nice. Rayshawn Pleasant had an explosive kickoff return that set us up in great field position. We had a tackle inside the 20 by Jarquez. So a lot of good things on special teams. Played really, really solid. Only punted once. It could have been a little better punt, but not terrible. Defensively, our goal was to, as always, stop the run against a team that was averaging a lot. I think 218 on the ground. We held them to 63 yards and their tailback to 41, and a quarterback who was averaging a lot of yards per carry. We held them to 14 total yards. So thought our defense, and then obviously the takeaways were huge for them to get those. And truthfully, the first half we didn't play very well defensively compared to what our standard is, and it was really just bad eyes. Which they do a lot of things that can make you do that, but give a credit to our staff, to our kids for making adjustments at halftime and coming out and really dominating the second half. So really proud of our team and, again, the resiliency they showed, and now we have to turn our attention to a very dangerous Kentucky team. I have great respect for Stoops. He's defensively, I think they are really, really talented. And it's been a weird season for them, too, to have a real chance to upset Texas. And they had the goal line stopped there. And the Tennessee game got away from them with just some bombs over their head. But and you look at the Georgia and Ole Miss game, 2 top 10 teams that are right there in them. And so I know, we've got another tough challenge ahead of us Saturday night. And their freshman quarterback is playing at a high level, has an incredible arm. Those 2 receivers, I think 1 and 17, are dynamic. And then their defensive front is their tight ends are good too, but their defensive front 7 is pretty dang special.
You, after watching film, going back and evaluating kind of the quarterback position, what's the thought process going into this week?
Yeah, I don't think there's any greater motivator than competition, and that's what it is. It's an open competition to see who prepares and plays the best. They both will split reps, and then we'll make a decision. There's a lot of good things that both did. I thought Ashton showed an incredible amount of poise. So really only graded him on 2 minuses. But I thought he showed great poise and leadership and a difficult time to come in the game when the momentum had totally shifted the other way, and thought he gave us a spark up until Jackson's interception. Thought he played really, really well to that point. So it'll be exciting to see how they both respond and compete this week as we head into this game.
Coach, that sounds like you're not committing to a starting quarterback versus Kentucky. But where does Dukes fall in all of this? Are you taking him out because you just said both, referring, I'm assuming, to Ashton and
Yeah,
Jackson?
I think I've said this publicly, and I mean it. I think Deuce is the future of this program. I don't know that it's fair to throw him in that right now. He probably would handle it great, and I'm certainly not saying we won't. He'll get a few reps too, but it's really hard to try to do that with three guys right now. And but I do firmly believe there's not many arms like Deuce Knight. He's got an elite one. Obviously, there's a lot of other things that go into playing the position of quarterback that he's quickly becoming very very better at understanding all of those, and I can't wait to see when he does get his opportunity.
You converting red zone opportunities into touchdowns, obviously something that didn't go well at Arkansas maybe the last few weeks as well. What do you make of that and how the offense is doing when they get down there?
Well, there's two of them that truthfully we were being really, really, really conservative because field goals really put us in a good position. And the last thing you want to do is risk. So I kind of take those two out because we really didn't attempt anything other than to milk the clock and get points. But then there are definitely others that we had our opportunities. One of the minuses on Ashton, and he'll be the first to tell you, is he's got a guy wide open for a touchdown, Malcolm, and just didn't hang in the pocket and make the throw. I mean, he's just got to put it on him, and he just steps in the end zone. So you have to look at the calls first to see if we as coaches put them in a position to be successful when you get down there, and then you've got to look at are we coaching the execution of it well enough or not. And so those are things that we've got to continue to certainly work on.
Injury-wise, how's Cam doing after Saturday, and do you have an expectation for when Darrell could be back?
Medical staff feels like he's back this week, so I feel like Darrell is ready to go, which will obviously give us more depth there. Cam was not so good yesterday. Today, much better. So we're hopeful, but obviously don't know just yet. The great thing is it's not a high ankle sprain. It's down in the lower part, which those tend to be to heal quicker. So we're hopeful, but again, don't really know at this point.
Talk about Xavier Atkins, how good he's been and how much better he seems to be getting game by game.
I thought I can't remember which game it was earlier where we had a similar plan for a quarterback. And I think it just speaks again to the job that our staff is doing with these young kids over there and to the young kids, their development. But we had a similar game. I can't remember who it was, but where when we do have certain things on, he is the spy. And in an earlier game, he got a little nosy with other things instead of just do your job on this play. And man, in this game, he did it beautifully, and he closed on that quarterback when he broke the pocket at least 3 times that I thought were really, really impressive plays, not to mention the other normal plays that he's making within the defense. So I think he also got an award this week, and it's very deserving. He's definitely getting better and just more. Eye discipline is so huge on defense that you just don't get caught up in all the things that we offenses try to show or do, and you do your assignment. And I think he's maturing and getting better each week.
Yeah, Coach, what changes about the offense when Ashton is in the game? Like, what sort of, is there anything play calling wise that you adjust when you make that change?
Nah, zero. I think he and Jackson are very, very similar. You can do anything that we would do with one. I feel comfortable doing the same with the other. They both have ability to run different running styles, albeit, but still they have the ability to, and passing game doesn't change at all.
Coach, you've scored a lot on your opening drives. They talk about the opening script a lot. What are you seeing from Jackson as far as why he's so successful at the beginning of the games and then it seems to go south? And then second part of that question is just how has he handled the benching? And are you confident to go back to him if he is your starter Saturday?
Yes, that's what's made it so difficult when you see Ashton and Deuce both that are really, really talented players, but you go watch the last 3 opening scripts, and I mean it's hard to not look at that and say, gosh, he's playing at an extremely high level. Against Missouri, it wasn't just the first one. I thought he played really well, the entire half. Unfortunately, he had some drops that, nothing he can do about that. But there's no arguing that there seems to be something that we lose a spark. We lose maybe some execution. Obviously, quarterbacks and head coaches get the primary blame, and rightfully so in some cases, but it's not always the quarterback. There's other things that take place that are out of his control sometimes, but the bottom line is we get judged on winning football games, and we've had a stretch where we've had a chance to beat some really good teams, and we did not get that done. And so we're just searching for, is there a spark out there, whether it be Deuce or Ashton, and I think Jackson is very mature. We had a great conversation. He came to work today ready to roll. I gave him the example of whatever happens come Saturday, you got to be ready, man. Whether you roll out there the first possession or the third possession or after half, whatever that ends up being, you owe it to yourself and to this team to be ready. And he's a mature kid, and obviously he's going to compete like heck this week to prove that he should lead us on that first drive again. But I think he'll handle it well, whatever the circumstances come.
Yeah, question about Ashton. If you decide to play him and use him like that, I mean, are you still thinking about his red shirt? And would you have to kind of schedule games a little bit?
I'm thinking about beating Kentucky. The only reason that really came up is he was so late getting here.
Yeah.
And, you already had Deuce and Jackson getting all the reps. And so it wasn't until about, game 3 or 4 when we're struggling a little to finish games and get over the hump. You start thinking about, can he give us a spark? Because he has experience playing in some pretty big games, I mean, you go put on the film with him against Clemson or Notre Dame, there's some things he did that were really good. And he continued to show poise and development in practice. So that's when you start thinking about the 4-game deal. But you're at a point now where, what do we have? 4 games left in regular season. So you're thinking about winning this week, which is against Kentucky, and then we'll take next week as it comes. But that's all we can think about is going 1-0 this week.
I mean, you could have him for next year if you hold him out of one game, right?
Yes.
That'd be nice, right?
Yes. We need a win.
Right.
Let's win, and we'll go to next week and see.
Hugh, career high in yards and carries for Jeremiah. Just having him be able to be that kind of workhorse RB1, especially now with Darrell coming back. I mean, how much more confidence they give you guys to be able to run the ball and continue to do kind of a lot of the same stuff y'all did against Arkansas?
Well, we've done, if you really look, I mean, we've run the ball well per average against most all of the teams. Didn't run it near enough against A&M. Just we were behind the chains the whole night. But if you look at the average per attempt, it's been pretty dang good. Jeremiah is a huge reason for that, along with obviously the offensive line. We're wearing him out right now a little bit. You know, I don't know, was it 23 or 28 carries? I mean, that's a lot in today's time. And, you know, his body's not built quite like Jarquez's, where, you know, we got some difficult games coming, and you know, but he's handled it well to this point. Now we've modified our practice with him some. He's not getting as many reps as he used to probably in practice, and we'll get Darrell quite a few this week, along with Omar and Jeremiah his share. But there's no question he's got to get his touches.
I want to ask about Horatio as well. Is there any sort of outlook for him right now? Is it still a week-to-week thing, or do you guys expect maybe he could be back before the end of the regular season?
You know, I did not get an update today on him, so I would be totally speaking out of ignorance. But I don't think he's close because he hasn't. I mean, I'm always aware of the injured that are out there actually working and running, and he's not to that point yet. So really don't have an accurate update on that. Hopefully, we do feel like we can get him a red shirt, which would be huge for us next year to have him back. He's an incredible leader, incredible young man, and a heck of a player. And so we can't foul that until after the season, but I think it's a pretty good case that he would get his back.
You did look like Cale Ellis played really well when you went back and watched him first start for such a young guy. What did you guys see out of him?
Plays, incredibly hard. Snaps were pretty good. That was a big nose, 380 or so. There were times I think his fight is there. He's got to understand, like, when you're on your own, where this ball may hit against this look, maybe use a little different technique. There was a couple of those that I think we had maybe had a few more explosive or more yards in a run when he was singled up some, but he held his own for sure. Pass pro, he did well. I think he got maybe 2 pressures, but I'm proud of him, and we need him to get better again this week. Another difficult. Those 2 inside guys are pretty dang good.
Coach, Saturday was the first time that your team had rallied from down 10-plus to win a game here at Auburn. What did it mean to see your team fight back after Arkansas took that 11-point lead and fight off the feelings of here we go again to go get the win?
I don't know that I could really express in words how rewarding, fulfilling, good to see, because it would, in a lot of people's cases, that would have been easy to say the here we go again syndrome. I actually asked our staff, and staff may not, who had that feeling on the pick 6 of here we go again, and everybody was honest, I think. But man, at halftime, I thought the staff was remarkable. I thought Keldrick Falk and Champ and Jeremiah, not Connor Lou, but Jeremiah Cobb, and I thought all those guys were. Look, we are. They haven't stopped us yet. We are going to find a way to win this football game. And defensively, the plays we gave, the explosive plays, were just us with bad eyes. And let's get it fixed and go find a way to win the game. And so it was incredibly rewarding to see them fight back to do that against, on the road in this league is never easy. And really, I think that offense had put up a lot of numbers on some really good teams recently. And so really proud of our defense adjustments and offense controlling the time of possession where they didn't have to defend for 60, 70 plays.
Hugh, when you guys played Missouri, it was basically just KN and Jay playing almost all the corner snaps. On Saturday, all three of those guys, especially with Rayshon making those big plays, just rotating those guys a little bit more. I know you also mentioned trying to get all three of them on the field at the same time. Just how much has that really helped out? How much did that really help out your defense in that game against Arkansas?
Yeah, that's the only thing I've said in defensive staff meetings when I go in on Sunday is I think you ought to find a way to get your best coverage guys on the field in critical moments. And I think, there were times all three were on the field. And then, we didn't. The only negative is, we honestly have been rotating, a ton of people, and when you play 43 snaps, that's probably the only negative is they're just, some of them are disappointed. Man, I didn't get my normal 12, 15 snaps, but it was just a weird kind of game. So guys, 43 plays, it's hard to rotate a bunch of guys. Keldrick's not really tired, and so that was probably the only thing that not everybody was excited, but like, man, I wanted to play more, and I get it, but it's pretty good when you don't have to play but 40, a few snaps more than 40. So, but yeah, I think you got to rotate those three guys. I think Rayshon's getting better and better, and so is Starr, so is Woodby. All those guys are new boy winners, but you just didn't get to see as much of them because of the number of snaps that we played. But Rayshon had a heck of a game for sure.
Coach, last night we got news that LSU is the third SEC team to move on from their head coach midseason here. You've advocated to be the one to, in your words, get this fixed here at Auburn. Since the win on Saturday, have you had a chance to catch up with John Cohen about where you stand and where the program stands and what you need to get it done? No, I haven't. He was obviously excited for our win, and we celebrated together for a moment there on the field, but I don't get into those conversations because I just don't think it's how does that help, with our focus on what it should be on, and that's on these kids getting ready to win another football game. That's what you're hired to do. I think all of us that sign up for this know you're fighting for your life from the day one that you get into it. And man, I love Billy Napier and had great respect for Coach Kelly. I didn't know him as well. You hate to see that. You really hate to see it for the building. It's you get it. Every school's got to make those decisions, but I think that's probably the hardest thing for this position is just the weight that you carry for all these young families and people. And so I just don't focus at all on that. I trust in our administration, President Roberts, John Cohen, and those guys. And, I've been here just short of 3 years, and is the program better than when I got here on the roster? Yes. Are we close? Yes. And I've won everywhere I've been, and I believe with all my heart we're going to win big here. But my focus needs to be not on anything other than how do I help these young men grow this week as players and as young men, and how do I help our staff become even more united than they are, and they're pretty dang united. So that's where my focus lies, and I really don't have any desire to have any discussions about anything other than that. All right, thank you. Yep, thank you.